Hello. Today's episode is with an old friend of mine, son of Anders, who is a musician, guitar player based out of the Houston area. He and I are old friends going way back to college, and he came on the show today to talk about all of his releases he has done this year. So last year we talked about his release Shadow Blooms, which is an EP that was released to all the main streaming services, and since then he has, 5 more releases. He has Philosopher Queen, Beat a Knot, Me and You, Priestley Folk, and Peter's Show, and we talk about all of his music. We talk about his philosophy behind music. We talk about the idea of folk and folk music and what this means to him, expressing ideologies through music, all sorts of different things like that, and we just shoot the shit and have some fun. But before we get to that, please remember that I, as a podcaster and musician, operate on a value-for-value model, which means that I rely on you, the listener, to respond to the value that I provide to you, whatever that is to you. You get to decide how much value you get from my content, either my podcast or my music or anything like that. And then I ask that you respond in kind by providing value back to me. And there's a few ways to do it. There's a few ways to do that. Probably the easiest is give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, interact. I love interactions. I love developing a community around my work. The next easiest is probably to donate currency, either Bitcoin through the QR on the screen or Venmo through the other QR on the screen. Or if you like my content and would like to support it on a monthly basis, you can sign up for my Patreon below. And there's different tiers where you get access to sort of different perks. The lowest tier, you can submit topics or questions for me to discuss on the show. Other tiers, you get full concert videos of all my concerts. You get kind of backstage content, all sorts of things like that. All right, on to the show.
Welcome to Music in Mind with Anthony Calkins.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with son of Anders, and yeah.
Guten Morgen.
Yep. Is this what number is this on the podcast? Are you third, fourth, third?
Man, I don't know. I was on once with my brother, right?
Right.
I think that was the first time.
Were you called son of Anders then?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I just mean, did we call you that on the podcast? Maybe not.
I don't know. I think so, because I think it was like 2017. That's when I started doing the whole pseudonym.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because there is something a little bit funny about Mark Anderson and then son of Anders.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting next to each other.
Yeah, I completely agree. I should have a cape.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. But yeah. Oh man, back when I recorded it so badly too. To the audio on that
Right.
there was that stupid fan in that room in Humanities the whole show.
Right. Yeah, no. I can't even remember what type of mic you used, but I feel like
This one.
but you had two. Was it just one?
I have two of them.
Not that it matters. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I didn't have the nice windscreen on it. So.
Oh yes, I was like
Oh, yes.
blowing on the mic.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I'm here with son of Anders, veteran of the Music in Mind podcast. So yeah, welcome to the show. How's life?
Thank you. It's good to be back. Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, you were on about a year ago, right? Almost exactly.
Yeah, I guess so. But I was trying to think because I've released
A lot of music.
yeah, well, at least some since then. Yeah, because I think the last time I was on, we were talking about Shadow Blooms.
Yes.
But yeah, I have quite a bit since then. But yeah, I guess it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just can't get rid of me.
Right.
And just like that shadow.
Right. Well, you took some time off, 2017 and then 2021. But yeah, you released a lot of music.
See, that's what. Yeah. No, it's been a good year.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what, 3 singles and an EP? More than that?
No. Yeah, that's good.
Well, I have it right in front. I'm looking right at it.
I was like, okay,
don't give me too much credit.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Yeah, because it was 2 EP, an EP, an album, and then I think 3 singles.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Yeah, that was the one that Philosopher Queen. I'm looking at it and I was like, oh, was that before or after?
Yeah, Philosopher Queen, and then I did which has 3 songs on it, and then I did Beat a Knot, and then Me and You, MEANDU, and then. Well, this is very exciting for people, I'm sure.
It's great. Just keep going, keep going.
This is some good radio.
It's good. It's good. Just lists. People love them.
Yeah, and then Priestly Folk was the album, which is 5. I guess it's an EP by Spotify standard, but you know, who are they? Who do they think they are? And then yeah, this most recent one is Peter's Show.
Okay.
This most recent one, which I guess came out maybe a week ago, was sort of an experiment because I wrote it probably 3 weeks ago, so it was really put together pretty quickly. Yeah, and then Priestly Folk was kind of a combination of new and old stuff. Like March in the Street was a song that I wrote in 2017 and released 3 songs, and then took it down. It was Act 1 head. Nice. Yeah, but anyway,
cool.
Who cares?
Who cares? Well, I mean, you're here to talk about your music and all that, maybe.
Whatever, man.
Whatever. Peter's Show. It's funny when I read your titles. You saying them is really different than what I was reading. Because Priestly Folk, like I have this like it's almost like a shaman in mind. But then when you say Priestly Folk, like it's a bunch of priestly people. Yeah,
it's folk that are of like some people might look at like they're priests.
Yeah,
because that's where it comes from a line in Den of Thieves.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, I won't believe Galileo because priestly folk said he's a kook.
Nice. I see. Getting spicy.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody. Okay? Between me and you and
right. Well, so the folk distinction is that one's interesting to me. Where do you put your music in terms of?
I don't know. It's a great question. It's every time I upload stuff because I just use CD Baby.
Right.
And I have to fill it out of what is the type of song. And I always don't really know what to put. I put folk, a singer-songwriter.
Right. Oh, dude, I hate that. I hate that distinction though. It's such a weak sounding like singer song. Like I hate it, dude.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson, banana pancakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're pretty comparable, I would say.
Right.
I don't know. So like, what do you use actually when you upload?
Well, it's tough. So with Sap and Claw Elixir, I have the same problem. We've been saying folk punk a lot lately, which is kind of like an annoying distinction. Like we're punk, but
yeah.
But it's like because we're not a bluegrass band. We don't play real bluegrass. We play like acoustic instruments, but I put distortion on my banjo and like I don't know. And then we have Fudge the Fed, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of punk.
Yeah, I like folk punk or punk folk. Yeah, I like that. I was playing around with alternative folk, but then it's just like alternative just has all this baggage now. You know what I mean? Alt. Also,
alternative folk maybe sounds douchier than folk punk even.
Yeah, you think so?
Alternative folk.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
It's like, I'm alternative folk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Not quite as mainstream.
Here's my satchel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know those, I don't remember.
But I know what I tried alternative folk too. I mean, it's all, because actually the thing is like all the music that we grew up listening to is all like in the alternative realm. So that's all in there. Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. But then it's acoustic. That's sort of how I came to that idea. Although I don't even think I would. Yeah, I don't even know what alternative is, though. I guess like when you say alternative, I think like Blink 182, some 41. Sure. Yeah. But I certainly wouldn't put my music as an acoustic version, alternative, if you will.
Sure.
So,
right.
Yeah. So my argument is falling apart.
Your argument?
My eyes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Everything is just coming undone.
But the folk side is actually the more interesting side to me, though, because I have like an overly pedantic way of thinking of folk music, Like, I think really folk music shouldn't be.
By the way, you would.
Of course I do. No, I know. I piss people. I get arguments about this one. It's good. Maybe I'll piss you off.
Yeah, I'm already angry. You used the word pedantic.
Yeah.
I'm furious.
You're good.
How dare you do that? I don't even know what that means.
Oh, dude, that'd be funny. On. Continue to use words that people don't mean. Yeah. As a side note, I got the bass player in my band, Sap and Claw Elixir, had brought up this thing that sticks in my mind all the time about Marcus Aurelius, and he was saying that correcting people's pronunciation or correcting them by the words they use, saying like, oh, that word doesn't mean that, is like a third-rate thing to do, and you should never really do that, and that shows that you're like a low-class thinker.
He wrote about this in his meditations.
Yeah, right. And then he would say that basically all you should be doing is trying to understand what they mean. It doesn't matter what words they're using. And you're like displaying your own fake elitism. So I think about this.
Kanye was kind of making that point in one of his rants recently.
Oh, really? Well, maybe he's a big Marcus Aurelius guy. It wouldn't surprise me. I think about it all the time, though, because I feel like I have a tendency to do that. And it's like, man. But anyway.
No, yeah, I think I don't actually think I do that a lot, but I know a lot of people that do that. I guess maybe I do. I feel like everybody probably does that.
I haven't noticed you do it a lot. I was just
It is kind of because it can come off very patronizing.
Right. It's also a weird way of controlling a conversation to keep it at whatever you're thinking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, but folk. So to do that,
yeah.
Yeah, I always think of folk music as being like the idea behind it is it's music of the folk. It's sort of like unowned music, and so like real folk music you don't know who wrote it, or it doesn't, or whether you know or you don't, it doesn't matter who wrote it.
Yeah. See, and I almost put that in like I would agree with that. I'm trying to think like House of the Rising Sun. Actually, okay, so this is a little bit tangential, but, you might have an interesting opinion about it. Because I was actually thinking, I've been doing House of the Rising Sun on this topic for a while, and it is a traditional, it's like an American folk song.
Right.
No, it doesn't have an author.
Yeah.
So it is in the public domain is the point. So I might do a recorded version. But if I did, if I comped on House of the Rising Sun by the Animals,
right?
Can you? I guess the question basically is a chord picking pattern copyrighted?
Oh,
is that a copyrighted thing?
I don't know. But do you know if it is?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I was gonna just play it safe and not even use it, and just do my own thing.
Right.
It got me wondering about that. But anyway, it gets into all this philosophical mumbo jumbo about what is a song and blah blah blah, and then yeah, right.
I mean, the copyrightable thing is crazy with music. It's such a confusing topic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you remember Joe Diedrich from Did we talk about this last time on the podcast?
I don't know.
I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, he used to.
I should have listened.
he used to talk about how he was anti-intellectual property as an idea, and I remember that's very threatening to some musicians. But it's a very strange idea because it's like what you're talking about a picking pattern or a technique. If you start copywriting things like that, you're actually telling somebody else like movements that they can't make with their body.
Right.
Which is really odd.
I agree. It's in this weird territory of property, I suppose. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. But I agree. It's sort of an important thing of income for musicians. So it is good there is some kind of enforcement. But I would say I lie on more of the spectrum of... Anyway, I don't know if this is entertaining, but I lie more on the spectrum of I'm more of a libertine about it. But I don't, I'm not getting my bread and butter from it, so...
Right. I mean,
not getting any bread and butter, in fact. There's no bread and butter that is being had right now.
Yeah.
Based off of my music.
Well, your music is probably copyrighted through something, though.
Yeah, it
if
is.
You're putting it up through like DistroKid or CD Baby or something.
Yeah, but it's not like substantial streams. That was the joke.
Right. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
That was it. It was a pretty good one.
So how would you feel about somebody using your music?
I don't care. I mean, you know, I mean, I like to say I don't care, and yeah, I would like to act that too.
Right.
That's what I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, but folk. So, would you your music as folk, as priestly folk, the priestly folks?
Right. But it's not characterizing the music type. That's, I guess,
right.
The point.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it was interesting the way you said it, priestly folk. It's like, oh, you're talking about the people, not the music.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Yep. That's cool. So is all the music on that EP, as Spotify would call it, sort of pushing in an ideological direction?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I do like to leave it a little ambiguous. I think it's kind of obvious that it's pushing some ideas, and there's an irony that's in Den of Thieves. Excuse me. I don't want to burp in the into the mic.
It's great. I'll just capture it and then use it as a drop in.
This is some good TV.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, like Monkey Rule, I think I wrote after the, it sounds kind of pretentious, but, I wrote it after the Ukraine invasion, right? And so it's just about war, how it sucks and we shouldn't do it, right? So,
dude, I love how you you have this highfalutin idea, like you write a song, which is already like this very metaphorical thing to do, and you have an ideology behind the song. You talk about it, and you just put it down, and you just drag it into the muck, and you're like, it's just a silly idea.
You just have to, you have to really condense these things into the most palatable form.
You're like, war sucks.
War sucks. War, what is it good for?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's just based off of that kind of thing. So it's pushing a message there, I suppose, and then Color Gray is just about. Yeah, just reality is being weird right now. I think everybody sort of feels that.
Yeah.
And then Den of Thieves is it's about inflation and money stuff.
Yeah.
And March in the Street is just about. No, I mean this is gonna sound very very douchey, Anthony. So
okay.
Please prepare yourself. Okay.
Okay.
But it's about loving somebody so much. That you want to march in the street for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
Right? It's very powerful.
Right. And that sounds douchey because of, like, it just sounds like a douchey thing to do?
Because of everything. Because of the way I said it. Because of, just everything about it.
I see.
And then Miles Adrift is just about heartbreak. So.
So that's interesting that you get to the emotional at the end. It's like it actually moves towards the emotional.
Yeah, and it's actually it's recording that's 2 years old. I recorded it 2 years ago, which
Miles Adrift?
What was going on for me 2 years ago. Right. So it's about all that stuff that I'm not going to go into.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about all that stuff, and I recorded it, and I was thinking about not using it because I do feel like I've gotten to be a much better singer in 2 years from a variety of reasons we could talk about if you want. But and just recording also, just getting better at recording too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I ultimately decided to use it because it was emotional.
And are you playing piano on that?
Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I am.
Okay, so it's all you.
It sucks, that's why.
It doesn't suck.
It does.
Okay. Is all of it you?
Yes.
So there's no other musicians brought in?
No.
Not like a shaker player brought in?
I can't afford the lawsuits.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. It's shitty. I mean, it's interesting that you put your music down so much. You call it shitty. I don't know. Or like, you're really selling it.
Say that. I did not swear, sir.
Didn't? Oh, yes, sir.
I did not.
Oh, I could have sworn you did. I did swear that you did. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
you did swear that I did. That's true.
Anyway.
Yeah,
but that's also interesting. On the most emotional song, or the most personally emotional song, is also the one where you're playing an instrument that you're less comfortable on.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I'm actually very interested in that. That's
I'm trying to be vulnerable, Anthony.
No, seriously, it's huge. I think about this all the time in my music. I'm terrible at being vulnerable in my music.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, like, the bass player in Sap and Claw, much better at being vulnerable, and his tunes do way better than mine by, like, a lot. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, I think I think you got to do it. I think that's what people want. It's like that thing where, like, you kind of respect somebody that's going out on a ledge, and, like, I don't know, maybe respect isn't the right word, but Andrew Schultz kind of talks about it. Like, people like to see people walk through fire.
Yeah.
You could because it's like a value test or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We humans are weird, right? We're weird. And so we're always calculating weird stuff about people. And so there's some kind of value calculation that we do on public figures to test whether they're worthy of the spotlight. This is the idea. And so vulnerability, right? If you're vulnerable, I don't know. This is just
keep going. Don't cut yourself off.
Vulnerability is kind of, a way to do that. People value that because you can be attacked and be called, douchey, as I've pointed out. That's the most I've sworn on this podcast.
Okay. All right.
And
what I like about what's happening is the closer you get to being vulnerable on the podcast, you're like, take a quick left turn. You're like, no, I'm not doing that.
We can't. This is going to end up all over the interwebs.
Right. But you have all this guitar technique that you've built up, and you're talking about your singing getting better.
Thank you.
Right. I mean, like this album, EP, whatever it is, Priestley folk, right? These Priestley folk, right, that you're describing. Yeah. So you have all this technique that you've built up. It's kind of like we were talking about this walking through the fire. You like display everything that you've done, your work up to the point, and then it culminates in something that technically is not nearly as high level, but you're like finding your way in.
I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah.
It's great. I should write your liner notes.
I agree. I might take you up on that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, actually, though, you lost me at the end, if I'm being honest. Can you repeat the end? The second.
Oh, like you. Wait a minute.
Were you talking about?
I lost you. Like you lost focus, or you didn't you didn't agree.
The point. I wasn't understanding the point that you were making.
Oh. Well, so I don't know quite what, like, walking through the fire can have multiple meanings. It could mean like a trial of some sort. I feel like it sort of does, like testing your strength and your resilience or something like that, right? And I feel like building technique is sort of that. It's like a test of focus, and it's a test of all sorts of things. I mean, technique is weird in like how we build it up and what it even means, because it's like building patterns, but it's also opening. In theory, it should be opening up new avenues of creativity and all sorts of things like that. In theory, but that's another discussion we could have that I do want to have. But
no, I see what you're saying now, though. Yeah.
Right, and so through that, you break through and actually allow creativity to come out in a way that is not technical anymore.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, because you're so comfortable with it, you're not thinking about the technique.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. I would agree with that, because I do feel. I mean, but this is the problem. I would say with me is that I always feel. I kind of have in some ways I feel like unrealistic view of my playing, because I'm always happy with it on some level. It's weird. I'm happy with it, but I'm also not happy with it, which is why I keep practicing and trying to get better. But I do like the way I sound often at each point. So the point is that I put, the Priestley folk, which was I feel like I've, as you said, have been working on a certain sound and have gotten it really well crafted. And so I put out some songs that was kind of just featuring that technique, and I feel happy about it. But we'll see. In 2 years, I might look back on it and feel like, oh my God, what the heck was I thinking? It sounds like absolute, whatever. Because I kind of feel, because we're always progressing somewhere. Right. I don't know. Because that's the hope.
But what is your relationship with your old music?
It's good, honestly. Yeah, which is why I kind of halted at the end. Because it's not like I listen to all this stuff. I don't listen to it and think it's like the best thing ever, but I will listen to it and I'll be like, okay, this was, better than I expected it to be coming back. The stuff that's actually on Spotify. Right. Yeah, I have stuff going back to like 2009 when I was in high school. That's shit, I'll listen to it. I was just like, wow. I could literally put out an album of a progression of my voice through puberty. Right. Which is I might do.
That's great. And then you should do a classical guitar album too.
Yeah. Through the
all live recordings from Morphe Hall.
Oh my goodness. Was it Morphe? Oh, it was Morphe. For some reason I thought it was Murphy. It's Morphe. That's right. Man, it's all coming back.
It's great. Our duets, our trios.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You were working on a Ron West, too. I remember that.
I did it. No, I did it for the
concerto competition.
Yeah.
Dude, that's quite a feat. No, I never did it.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine. I pull out that piece every now and then, and I work on it a little bit, but...
Yeah, it's a fun one to play, but I can't even remember if I did the whole thing for them or if I just did one of the movements.
I think you just did the second movement.
Wow. Okay.
I think you might have learned I think it was just a one movement for the thing.
Huh. Yeah, no, it's fun. Do you play much classical anymore?
Every now and then. I actually think that my classical playing is better now because my musical... It's like we were talking about technique opening up. I feel like I'm more open than I was when I was in college. And so my playing is just overall better, but my classical chops are not very good.
How do you feel like being more open has manifested in your playing? Like what characterizes that? I'm curious. No, because I understand it in terms of like being open about, vulnerable lyrically, but...
I think it's about the same thing. I think it's like getting into the music rather than playing the music as an outsider or something. Because I feel like the way I played in college was okay, but it was very stilted, and I was very much playing something on the page. Versus, actually, I think it's since moving to Austin, playing in a ton of cover bands. The way that you have to learn songs is you really, really have to internalize the song and just know it in a way that, like, if they play it a little different in this band, you're going to have to go with that. Or if they play it a little different in this band, you have to know it well enough that you are shiftable in it. And so I don't actually like learning music unless I know it that well at this point. And so it's like I wasn't learning the language of the music. I was just learning a pattern of notes kind of a thing.
Yeah, I see. And do you feel like you weren't able to like really emote into the music as well?
Yeah, I think so.
That's kind of the idea. Yeah, okay.
Classical guitar is really hard for that because there's like two sounds that you can make.
Well, yeah, no, but I think that's the thing though, is it's the nuance is it's like you take this. There is actually a lot of variation, but it's all on a very small sound scale, which is it's like the nuance is everything. But there is a lot of diversity.
Absolutely.
Listen, really. No. Sorry, I don't mean to sound preachery or whatever.
Go for
it. But yeah. No, but I do feel like I did because it's like classical music is kind of the same thing, only maybe more like I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road. Anyway. Well, it's just, I don't know. It might be too esoteric. I was just going to say classical music is kind of like that. But maybe it's a little different. But I feel like having a little bit of an intellectual understanding about it can help.
Yeah, of course.
But I remember I feel like came off very pretentious one time when I was explaining that to somebody. Because I guess you could see it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's why I was saying I don't know. We don't have to.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
You and your quick left turns.
Well, yeah. The problem is it's like it's constantly, you just got to like see a thought and you go for it. But then,
I'm imagining riding in the car with you, and it's like you're driving along. It's like, whoa, why did we turn?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
I used to characterize. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. No. Yes. I just took another left turn.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, let's stick on the. You don't have to talk about the story, but the technique idea, because I feel like there's these sort of opposite tropes that go around about whether like it's important to learn theory or I don't want to learn theory because it's going to make me not creative or something like that. And then I feel like you and I both went to music school and did all the theory and stuff. And I'm sure that it informs what we do in several ways. But do you feel either side of that argument, or do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I guess I don't feel like it will. The reason I kind of made a sound when you said that people look at it like it would crush creativity is like, I actually don't think I ever have looked at it like that.
Right.
I always looked at it as like unlocking a whole world where it's like a bunch of new tools, and now you can use these tools. Cause that's kind of how I still feel like I look at music. Is there's still like I'll just go and play kind of like I did before I knew anything about music, because that's when I was learning guitar. I didn't know all the music theory I know now. But then I feel like I can shift perspective and also then analyze what am I doing. I kind of use that after I maybe come up with an idea, and then I'll analyze the idea and figure out where to go with it. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess to answer your question, I don't agree with that. I don't think people should look at it like that, I guess is the point. Whether or not you have time to get into it or an interest to get into it, right? I mean, those are different questions, but perspective is something I think is changeable, Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, I think the problem is people who don't go far enough with theory. I think the problem is like if you learn like these are the chords in a scale or something like that, or in a key, and that's all you do, and then you feel stuck because you feel like those are the only chords that are available to you. Yeah, that's gonna make your songwriting not very good. But if you keep going and you start to learn the connections and you're like, I have a note C, what chords can I put under this? And it's like, oh, I can put like a lot of chords. And then it's like, oh, what kind of sound do I want? I could put an A minor, I could put an A flat major, I could put a C, I could put like an F, I could put a G and have it be an 11th. Like you could do anything. And then that's when you start to see that actually it opens everything up if you go far enough with it. I think that the danger is just a little bit of theory.
Yeah.
Like a pentatonic scale, because then you're stuck.
Yeah, I suppose. But like, I don't even know if I would say that's a dangerous thing, though. Even if you get stuck, it's like at least you know that. I don't know. You can do a lot with even just that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe the people who say that it limits their creativity aren't very creative people to begin with.
Now you might be getting somewhere with that.
Like they didn't have an idea, and that's why the theory is making them stuck, because they don't have an idea.
Yeah, maybe. But it's interesting because it's like, I don't even know if it's possible for people to not be creative, because it's just like the act of doing anything is you're creating that, even silence. But anyway,
That's very deep.
Thank you. I was going to say, I'm just a regular, what was his name?
Marcus Aurelius? Cage. Oh, yeah, Cage.
4 minutes and 33 seconds or something.
Yep.
31. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not good with binaries.
Oh, yeah.
I either 33 or 31.
You like trinaries?
I don't even like that, no.
Okay, no naries.
No. Get out.
Do you like fuzzy math?
Fuzzy math. I don't know what that is.
I was reading about it at one point. It's the idea that there isn't actually such thing as a true math fact. It got popular in the 70s and 80s. It's something like 2 + 2 has a very, very, very high probability of equaling 4.
Okay.
But that everything is a spectrum. Like literally everything is a probability spectrum.
Well, okay. I mean, that's a pretty logical extension of where I think things were probably going, I guess.
Right.
That's basically that seems to be basically what quantum mechanics is.
Sure.
Smash probability theory with physics.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, no, I haven't heard of that. Interesting.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No. Yeah, okay. Well, now you sound like me.
Yeah. Well, I don't actually know why I brought that up, but
Okay.
yeah. So
I thought it was because of my song, "Me and You."
Me and You. Okay. Well, tell me about that song.
Yes.
I thought it was like
Great transition.
Meandu or mean. I had no
knows.
idea how to pronounce it.
"Me and You" is
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I was just.
Did you make the cover art for it?
Yes.
Where you're like lasering your phone, or is your phone lasering you?
That's the question. Yes and yes.
Okay, cool.
What's the sequence? Nobody knows. But yeah. Okay. Ooh, so ambiguous.
Right, and it's yellow and blue. It's good.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I learned how to. You learned how to use Illustrator, and I just went buck wild.
You're like, is this too much? No, keep going.
No, I have an idea. Let me outline myself.
There's an outline button? No way.
Yeah.
I could change the color of it? Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to boast too much, but it really is kind of monumental. So
kind of
yeah, so thank you. So yeah, "Me and You" is the song. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Eric. You're welcome. Yeah, and anyway,
Who's Eric?
Up, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Son of Anders.
No, yeah, sorry. And I brought this up because of a lyric, "The Fuzzy Truth." Pull my cheek because I am tired instead of turn my cheek. You got to pull it because that's just how difficult it is for me to move. You know, I'm not going to be able to turn it. It's very, very deep, Anthony.
Right.
Yes. Of the fuzzy truth and liars. So to counteract your fuzzy math statement.
Right.
That's where I went with it.
Right.
So I put it back to you now.
To me?
Where are you going to take this conversation? Yeah.
Well. So tell me more about the song, though.
Yeah, I use tremolo in it, talking about classical technique stuff.
Hell yeah.
I open it with tremolo. And yeah. Yeah, actually, right now, that's actually probably the most popular song on Spotify. That has seemed to, of all my songs, it seemed to actually get on playlists. So, not that there's many,
right,
and not that it's many listens, but it's more. Excuse me. So
the song part of it, though. So what's interesting is when I asked about the song, you say starting with tremolo. Do you where? It's a hard question to ask. The songwriting part of it, what I think more and more is what's powerful about a song is the voice. And I think actually all music kind of comes down to the voice, whether that's your voice on an instrument or your voice like with your vocal cords. It's the same thing. And all the technical stuff, that's like orchestration. That's cool. And that can help or not. But I feel like it's kind of like what we were talking about before about being vulnerable. It's like wanting to hear you in it. And so this feels like another very like thought-y song.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, because it's a little bit about, sort of people trying to control you and stuff like that. There's a lot of subtext.
Right. But you say it's your most popular. Where is this song on the vulnerability scale?
Yeah, I don't know, because I think it has to do sonic than anything. Whether or not it's sonic vulnerability, I don't know. But I think it's whatever,
I did have somebody on the podcast once who said he wanted to have sex with sound.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole synesthesia stuff is kind of a interesting, or like ASMR. I don't know much about that, but it is an interesting thing. People do get aroused by sound, strangely. That wasn't my intention with this song. but
do you know that that's not how others are taking it?
No, no, I don't. But I don't think they would. It's just my hypothesis.
Yeah, right.
No, but I think it's just the quality of the recording, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Which is probably why, because I feel like it maybe is more representative of just my ability to record.
Okay.
Is my point. Yeah, because I feel like that's, I mean, but I don't know. So another thing that we could talk about is I've seen steady sort of increase, very steady, very steady increase in listenership on Spotify over the past 6 months, which I attribute actually to, we were talking about TikTok Live. There's just, I've been doing that and people are listening on that. So I was about to say that Me and You is popular because of just the recording, but you can get a little bit of a real-time look at what people think of your songs with TikTok Live, because you could just look and see how many people are listening.
Yeah.
And Me and You, I guess it is one that people seem to like on that as well. So it's not. So I guess it is a good song. So yeah, maybe I am being vulnerable in it. I guess I don't know. I think the songs that do better, what I'm finding, are the ones that I think about the least. And I guess maybe that's the vulnerability.
Right. You just let it be.
Yeah, and I haven't even really analyzed it myself. I guess is the kind of weird thing. Maybe I should. What am I putting out there?
No, I think that's a good point. What you just said about the songs that you sort of analyze or work on the least. I find the same. Not even just popularity, but what I think are my most successful songs are the ones that come out and I'm not spending my time agonizing over them. And I have like 4 songs that I've been working on for months, and they just get worse and worse every time.
Dude, I know what you mean. Because like Shadow Blooms, which we talked about the last time, that song I worked on for like a year, and I should have just put it out like 3 months in.
Right.
Yeah. It's you got to be careful with that. So what are you gonna do about those songs then?
I don't know. I don't, because like it sucks when it's like you have an idea that you feel like it's so fresh and it like works, and you get like half a song, and it's like now I can't do anything else, and I'm stuck. Right. I mean, maybe there's something interesting in putting out half songs. Like putting out scraps, it's interesting, but
well, I mean, depending on how long the song is, I mean, you could put out half of Thick as a Brick, but that's still a 6-minute song,
Right, that's true. Or you do what the Beatles did in the White Album and start melding songs together. So you have like Happiness is a Warm Gun is actually like 3 different songs.
Is that actually how it is?
I think so, yeah. The happiness is a warm gun. And
it kind of comes back, you mean?
Yeah, she's not a girl who misses, but it's a whole different. I think it was different songs that he hadn't finished, and he just fused them.
Well, so this is an interesting point, because it's actually was making me think about something. I was listening to Rick Rubin talk.
Oh, on the Joe Rogan podcast with the
no, actually on to the Chili Peppers. He he was doing his own interviews. And he was I think it was maybe the Frusciante one, or one of. He interviewed all of them,
right?
And it was making me think about how. And this is this isn't anything against them, but it was making me think about how people are kind of rediscovering things that people knew 200 years ago in music. Like you're talking about with the Beatles. That's basically just like you have a theme in an orchestra or an opera that keeps coming back. It's not like it's just kind of funny anyway. Is the point? Because what were they talking about? They were that was making me think about that. It was I don't know. I don't know if I can think about it. I'm on the spot here, Anthony.
Okay?
Yeah, everybody's looking at me.
Wait. So what are the Chili Peppers rediscovering?
Well, no, it's.
I like the point. I'm not asking to challenge your point. I'm asking because I'm curious about.
No, that's that's what I'm trying to remember. That's what I'm trying to remember.
Okay,
what was it that I felt like it was something that Rick Rubin had suggested they do. Oh, I think it was honestly just harmonies. Yeah, it was nice. Like have Frusciante do backup singing. And it was like, it would open up this whole thing and nobody had thought about it and stuff like that. And I get it. Again, I'm not saying like it's not a really good idea and everything, but it's just kind of funny because it's like harmonies, of course. It's like
well, it's weird because actually the way I feel like a lot of rock musicians learn music, it's sort of a secondary thought. I mean, I remember it being kind of a hard idea when I was first starting, like when I was 12 or 13, because you learn like Black Sabbath songs where the melody that the vocals are singing is literally the same thing as the guitar riff. Mm-hmm. And the guitar and the bass are playing the exact same thing.
Right.
And it's like only the drummer that's doing something different, really. And so it's like this band that's just moving in complete lockstep.
So basically what you're saying is we've condensed what the evolution of from monophonic to polyphonic that happened over 300 years in Notre Dame. We've condensed that in rock music where it was monophonic, it was just octaves.
Right,
and then it got all like complicated.
Well, then you add the fifth with a power chord,
Right, or the 70s was the power chord, the 80s was, just Eddie Van Halen just threw it, and then anyway.
Wait, where's the Eddie Van Halen of the 1400s?
Well, I was going to say Paganini, but that's not the 1400s.
Okay. Oh, I see. I see.
Hildegard of Bingham. I mean,
yeah.
She could shred. I don't know. She might have been 13 or 12.
Shredding at the manual organ,
like the flute, something.
A recorder.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Glockenspiel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that this is a fun idea that probably doesn't hold up to that much scrutiny.
Maybe not. I don't know. You might have to drop it.
Well, I feel like because the thing is, there's all these forms of music that were going on in the 60s and 70s that were like super complex, and like funk music is very, very complex and has all this stuff. But I feel like if you trace like metal and hard rock, it does really start very, very simple, and it starts to expand out.
Yeah, it probably just has to do with the genre. Like every genre was in a different evolutionary stage, and
because you can keep
jazz
going.
Was in a different place. Jazz was a much older art form in the '60s than rock was, in a way, and so it was going through its whole crazy, phase in the '60s and '70s where people were like, "What the heck is what is going on here?"
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, maybe it does hold up to scrutiny. Like now that I'm thinking about it. Like if I think about when you're saying Paganini, and then you start after Paganini, after the mid 1800s, you start to get these really, really big structures that get really complex, all the way to Stravinsky. That's like off the wall stuff, like with polymeters and all that sort of stuff. And you can keep going with the rock music too. You can go from Eddie Van Halen, you can get all the shredders in the 80s, and then you can get like the grunge stuff that's really dark and intense music, all the way through like new metal and then like prog metal and gent that's like super complex with crazy rhythms and like crazy dissonances and stuff like that. Huh.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
And then it kind of works with jazz, although I feel like jazz didn't start that simple.
Well, I don't know, because I kind of think it did. I feel like it came out of that like marching band stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of the, it was like that Scott Joplin kind of.
But that stuff's kind of complex. Like that's
Scott Joplin is, yeah. I mean,
I feel like that's the big difference is like. Black Sabbath is not really complex. I love Black Sabbath. That's not to put them down at all. I absolutely love Black Sabbath, but it's not really complex in the way that we're talking about. This. But Scott Joplin's pretty complex. I mean, it's a lot of blueses, so the structure. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when we did that?
Did we do that?
We did.
Really?
That was our secret weapon. Yeah. I think you did it.
I don't remember that at all.
Wow.
Our secret weapon.
Drunk. That was during that was when you were drinking a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember those days.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's not an alcoholic, okay?
Yet.
Yes, he's working on it. But
yeah, with my sparkling water.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah.
Dude, I've gotten really into sparkling water
Is
lately.
that HEB?
It is.
HEB? Wow.
HEB's great, man. I love HEB.
Yeah. They should sponsor.
Yeah, they should. Come on, HEB. Anyway, no, it's a good point. I feel like it does work. Well, maybe it's the tendency to build complexity in a system. Maybe it doesn't matter where the system starts.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, yeah, I think exactly. And that's why I was saying I feel like it's dependent upon the genre, because each genre is going to probably start more rudimentary and then get more complex as it goes on.
Has it happened in pop music? I feel like pop music is less complex.
Yeah, I mean, the production's much more.
It is. The production's super complex.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But even
that's where,
even old Motown tunes and stuff are way more complex than a lot of modern pop tunes.
But yeah, and I guess that's the point, though, is because it's like, what's the end thing that we're talking about is the sound waves that are coming out, is like how sort of convoluted are they? And I feel like all the effects, there's so much, like, there's so many changes in pop music, which is why I think people like it, because it's good for the addictive mind. There's like all these new sounds that are coming in every like 2 beats or 2 bars or something.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're always introducing new things that, kind of pique your interest. My stuff is not like that at all. I mean, it is in a way, because it's like, what I try to do is, when I'm playing, because it's just me and the voice. So it's constantly this idea of how do you make it interesting for people longitudinally. Right. And like when I do TikTok live, I'll do it for an hour, but I feel like an hour is pushing it at that point. Right. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, when you don't have a whole arsenal of sounds at your disposal in your toolkit, that's why ultimately ended up adding the percussion stuff, because it's it adds an ability. You can add energy to the song by adding. I'm gonna keep adding the word "add" every time I get a opportunity. Yeah, because I feel like I've used it quite a bit now. But in addition to what I just said, I don't know. Anyway, so. That's just like my opinion, man. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a good one. I
feel like I'm being interviewed by like Steven Spielberg.
Why?
So you got the hat and the.
Oh yeah.
Or like Michael Moore. I mean, I don't mean to say.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm not saying anything, but like I feel like Michael Moore. He's always wearing a hat, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying like
Well, I'm trying to do the hat thing. I'm not really a hat. I haven't been a hat guy, but Austin is such a hat city, and there's so many good hats here. I feel left out.
It makes, the sun is just, it's more direct, I feel like, or I don't feel like it is, or it seems to be stronger, right?
It's pretty intense, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's just more than it was in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
When we were.
But there's some good hats here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I assume Houston is similar.
Yeah, no, and it sucks because it's like I would wear a cowboy hat because it actually kind of functionally makes sense. Yeah. But I just can't bring myself to it. I just feel like.
Dude, I hope next time I see you have a hat and it's those boots too, like those $400 boots.
God, no, but functionally, a cowboy hat or a garden hat, it really does make sense down here to cover the neck.
Absolutely.
Cover, because I will walk about 40 minutes to get to where I need to go, and which is a very high, it's just a great. Anyway, I feel like I was being very. Anyway, but this part. Because I like to wear V-necks, okay?
Oh, I see.
I like to wear V-necks, but now, you get...
Yeah, I think I will sue you about that, yeah.
You should. No. I take that back. Strike it. Yeah, so anyway. So it functionally makes sense. Covers a greater area. Mm-hmm. Protects, rather, whatever.
Sure.
And, but I can't do it. I won't do it. Anthony, I will not do it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Make it. Mr. Moore, you cannot make me. Okay?
Mr. Moore. Yeah. Okay.
I love Fahrenheit 9/11, but it's too much. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so you were talking about your TikTok live. So I'm interested. Back to business. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. I'm gonna grill you on this.
Why?
I'm gonna ask you a gotcha question. No, but. So your presence as a musician is interesting because it's almost entirely online, right? Mm-hmm. But there was a time where you were out doing open mics.
I was.
And
in DC.
Yeah, right.
3 long years, and in Wisconsin. I played. The people didn't come.
Right. No. So your model for how you release music and how you make music. That's
yes.
Well, that's what I'm interested in your thoughts on live versus online and building an audience and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like the live, you can build an audience online, I think.
Right.
That's my opinion, and that's sort of, I would say what my what I'm aiming to prove.
Right.
But that's not to discount. Like, I feel like the end goal is always live. The end goal is always to be able to play live.
Right.
And so, like, if I could build an audience big enough to go and say I'm going to play somewhere and people actually show up, that is ideal. I mean, that's
right.
Ideal. But I do feel like, because it's all just marketing and getting people to know your name. And I think playing live helps legitimize yourself, though. I mean, too. And also, like, again, if you get an audience online and then you go and play live and you suck, people aren't going to come back.
Right.
In my case, I feel like I've played live enough that, I know how to play live, but it's mostly just it's a logistic thing. I would play live more, but I don't have a car. I mean, this. I'm just like, I'm kind of just basically a hermit right now for the, reasons I won't get into, but, but very, very important reasons. Yeah. Like, I don't own a car, and it's in Houston, and it's like, you can't really walk places. And there's transit, but I don't know. Anyway, and I don't have a lot of, like, time. So the point is, TikTok Live is a great thing in that sense that I can just, in between doing something, I can just go into my closet where I have, a very extravagant light.
That's great. You're a hermit, and then you further cloister yourself.
Yes, dude. I very much like it to be enclosed. It's weird. Yeah, whatever. That's autistic or something.
You have like compression blankets.
Don't you judge me? Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I agree.
My language now, Mr. Moore. Sorry, I'll go back to Antushka.
Good.
But yeah. So anyway, what was I talking about?
You go into your closet and record TikTok Live.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's all, man. That's
okay. That's it.
So and then I'll go TikTok Live for like an hour or 30 minutes, however long. And it's helped. I feel like it's getting really dark in here now. Okay. All right.
It's okay.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Beautiful. Now it's really bright.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good.
I'll put on my glasses. Great.
We had a costume change.
I'm a transformation. I'm a different man.
Nice.
But yeah, anyway, I'll do that, and it has helped. I mean, it has actually translated into listenership on whatever the place is, the streaming platform.
And then when is the step to go back to live then? Like how do you see that transition? I think about this all the time.
I don't really see it because I mean this is like I'm not really doing it.
Right.
It's like if people listened, I would love it if people listened, but people don't have to listen. It's like I'm gonna keep doing it,
right?
And I'm just putting it out because I'm doing it,
right?
But it's if nobody ever listens, it's fine. And so I guess the point is it's like I don't have a gauge. It would have to be a lot of people, I guess is the point, before I would go out and play live. I would need to have a car. Maybe it doesn't even need to be. I think I just need to have a car. That's probably what it is.
So what you're saying is that we need the listeners of this show to get together,
yes,
and buy you a car and a parking space.
We need to get 3 million people to listen, and that'll translate to, or it doesn't even to be. So 1 million listeners is about $3,000, maybe 30.
Sure.
3,000.
Or 20,000 listeners could just donate $1 each. Or 20, to be safe, let's be safe, 30,000.
That makes too much sense.
That's probably easier, actually.
I disagree.
$1? Wait, why?
Well, I'd rather have the listeners. How about that?
I see.
How about that?
Well, I'd rather have the live show with the car.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so don't give him the dollars. Give me the dollars. That's fine.
You can have the dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, and that's kind of the other thing is like, it would be great to play live, but I'm not doing any of this to make money. It's just to, it would be great, but it's not for that. So yeah, there's not a lot of planning. When you said model, I laughed a little bit because it's like, I wouldn't say it's modeled out very much.
But I feel like, so the reason I ask you that is I feel like your online presence is, it at least appears to be more calculated than mine. I feel like I try a lot and I spend a lot of time on it, but it's not as directed. And like what you're saying about TikTok live for an hour, like you kind of have a regimen that seems to be doing what it's intended to do. Also, like I hate performing like to my phone or something like that. And so like that's also good practice in the same way that doing open mics can suck. But it's also like there's the cutting your teeth, there's the practicing performing on stage, and it's a different kind of practice performing on a live stream. And I'm actually really bad at it.
Yeah. Oh, you think it's because that's actually an interesting thing. What do you think is different about it? Because it has actually been, I guess it's been a year since I've played live. No, maybe 7 months. I played in December of last year.
Oh, cool.
So more than 7 months. But anyway, why do you think the difference is, actually?
Well, I get more nervous if I'm performing on a live stream because I can't look at anybody and it doesn't feel like anybody's there, but there is somebody there. Versus, it's a little bit like what you've talked about when we were like floating ideas about doing stand-up comedy, and just the ability to comment on what's going on and see somebody's reaction and look at them and be like, oh, that sucked, right? And like look at them and they'll be like, yeah. That like releases tension right there because that's a real interaction.
Right. Interesting. No, I mean, because I think I'm the opposite. But I don't know. It's an interesting.
Well, because I think that cutting your teeth on stage is finding out how to be like that. Because like back to music school, we'd go up on stage and like we'd pretend to be at ease, but we'd be nervous as shit or something like that. Right? Or I would be at it. But anyway, and then you'd make a joke, but like it didn't ever really work because it wasn't real. You weren't actually commenting. It was all still artifice and facade. And I feel like the comfortability on stage is truly being comfortable just talking.
Right. Yeah. And I guess you have to get there with TikTok Live. I guess is that your point? It's a little bit different. Yeah. I would agree with that. But it is interesting. I do think I get more nervous. But again, you've played live more than me, I would say. And so maybe, that's probably why. And whereas I've certainly played more TikTok lives than you. And I hold that actually above your head quite often, right. I would say. So take that.
Right. If I start doing more, you'll start doing more. You're like, oh, shit.
Like, he's not even a real musician. He doesn't even TikTok live. We're going to switch it up.
Dude, that's going to be a statement soon. There's going to be people saying stuff like that.
You think so?
Oh, my God. Well, what about open mics? Do you feel like those... Or what do you feel like those did for you?
Part of it's like, I did them for a while, and it's like, it's just I don't know if I just don't really want to go back to them right now. I guess because it's a big time commitment. You got to go there, and you have to
got to wait forever. Yeah,
and you got to buy a drink and everything. So anyway, it's not crazy, but it is like I did it a lot. For like 3 years, and then more than that when you count Madison. And even working the open mics.
Yeah, right.
And stuff like that. And so there's just part of me that's like a little bit done with the open. You can only do it for so. I mean, I'm sure I will do it again at some point. But preferably to just play to people that want to hear you is sort of where I would rather.
Absolutely.
And you're always very kind to invite me to play, and I should probably take you up on it more than I do.
Well, come to Austin. I'll get us a show together.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think about it maybe honestly as much as not even that you might think, not that even that you think about how much I think about it, but as one might.
How much is he thinking?
Right? Like how much does he think about this? I don't think about it a lot. Is the point?
Well, I think about the open mic thing specifically because when I first moved to Austin, I was hitting I was going out every night. Hitting every open mic, every jam in the city that I could make it to. Like I'd try and do like 3 or 4 a night kind of a thing. I mean, Austin's nice because it's not super big and there's a lot of things like that going on. So not every city has that like infrastructure built. But I remember I got into a big argument with the bass player in my band about how valuable those were. Because when he'd come out to visit, I'd try and do the same thing with him and be like, oh, great, like we can go do some Sap and Claw performances around town. And this was before we were able to get paid gigs in town. But now, like, through that, I found my way up, and now, like, I get paid gigs every week, and I don't ever do open mics, which was the idea. Like, the idea is to graduate away from it, that it's a way to have a stepping stone, to mostly to meet people and to have people see, oh, he's good, I'm going to hire him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is. I actually think it's very valuable for exactly all those reasons. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't discount the value of it. It's more of, yeah. So I hope it's not coming off.
No.
Yeah. No, I would agree with everything you just said. And yeah, and that was one of the bummer because, yeah, I felt like I was making a lot of connections that I just left in D.C. when I was doing
Right. I mean, that makes it tough.
And Madison too, you know, we're building all these music connections, and I'm sure you had a lot in LA. So and you know, certainly basically had to do that, and I think it was as you've already said, a smart thing to do.
Right. There's a trap. Sometimes people get caught in the open mic circuit forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the part about music is that you don't have to be, but I would say it helps to be good and be getting better all the time. Cause like, and taking a real, and what I mean, like, that sounds like a stupid thing to say, but I mean, taking a real look at what you're playing and like, like what comedians do, record your performance and watch and be like, did that work? Why didn't it work? And like, you need to actually be doing a good job.
That's why TikTok Live is very helpful, actually, because I was telling you, you know, you can basically see how many people are watching, and you can see whether it goes up or down during parts of your song, and, like to the point where you, like, I feel like I have a good idea, and also just judging like how people feel and like the audience feels, if they're the type of audience that wants to. Again, you know, it's definitely different than playing live, but there's similar things that, you know, you're having to pick up on a group of people's energy in one manner, right?
Yes.
And calculate what the best sort of way forward is with that information. So yeah, anyway, I don't know.
Do you interact with people on TikTok?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you mean?
Like somebody comes on the lives thing, and they're like, "Oh, hey, nice playing."
Yeah.
Or
no,
they're like, "You suck."
People. No, mostly those people I'll talk with. I'll say, "Hey, stay, tell me more."
Wait a minute, are there actually people who say you suck?
There's been one or two people that have, like, come through. Yeah, of course.
I kind of wish people said that to my videos.
Yeah, dude. Because it's mostly on like when I'm doing percussion stuff, because I feel like it's just people aren't used to hearing that kind of stuff.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And so anything that is a little bit, and you know, it doesn't sound good all the time. I even feel that way, which is why I've sort of spent so much time trying to get it to sound good. But no, most of the time, I mean, overwhelmingly, it's very positive. Yeah. And yeah, I interact with a lot of people. Some random people drop in and just say stuff all the time. Like, hey, most of the time it's like, hey, this is nice and stuff like that. A lot of the times it's just random stuff. People will just, or a lot of times people will ask for you to play something like, you know, not even just Freebird, but I don't know, like Wish You Were Here. A lot of people like to ask for that one.
Yep.
And then there's also just a group of kind of regulars, I would say, that come through, and they're who you get a group of people listening to your music regularly, and then that'll help the algorithm. You know, is kind of how I look at it. Mm-hmm. Not that I know anything special about this. I'm very small fry, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been noticing for my stuff, and yeah, it's all through TikTok Live.
Cool.
Yeah. Haven't really played around with Twitch because I feel like, I mean, I get the impression that's more video game.
I tried to do a couple Twitch streams of like practice sessions. To say I was like practicing a jazz set for something, and I just like run the set on Twitch a couple times or something. But
how did it?
Nobody watched, but I also did tend to do that at like 3 a.m. So.
Well, and that's the thing is like I don't really I don't know how good the discovery algorithm is for Twitch, but for TikTok Live, it's very good.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. I haven't really played around with YouTube Live either.
Right.
Part of me doesn't like the idea that, I mean, the TikToks get saved, but they don't get saved for public display. That you have to go and get them if you want them. Whereas I feel like they are automatically displayed after like a YouTube Live.
Oh, right. You'd have to turn it off or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I might play around with that. I don't know, but yeah, the virtual live is interesting. We live in a weird world.
Do you get worried about TikTok as a platform or YouTube or anything?
A little bit, yeah.
Like I don't love having TikTok on my phone, but
yeah, no, I mean, no, I'm not in love with the idea either, but it is unfortunate because I do feel like their algorithm is the most organic in some ways. Yeah, because I feel like I have the most success on there. So whether I'm biased for saying that, but like in terms of
shill for TikTok.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm kind of doing that right now.
I mean, TikTok is the only platform that I get sucked into.
Yeah.
Like I can find myself like, what the hell am I doing? Why have I been sitting here for 15 minutes? Like I was like doing something and now I'm not.
I know. Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Yeah. It doesn't happen to me with other ones. It's just that one.
Yeah, it happens to me with Instagram. I'll get sucked into like people put on fights. It's very bad actually. Yeah. Like street fights.
Oh my God.
Sucked into just street fights on Instagram. It's bad. It's a recent thing. It's just like, cause I'm like, yeah, it's very bad. Cause it's just like, I don't know why I do it, but yeah, because it's kind of terrifying that we have the ability to still just beat each other up. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, so I was going to ask if you wanted to play a song or two from one of your releases.
Open collar, asking me, oh, won't you follow? I don't know what you are doing in that corner of the kitchen. Yeah, that's you, I'm telling you. 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 Pull my cheek, 'cause I am tired of the fuzzy truth and liars. Hold my beer, oh, let it burn. Oh, these the only things we learn. Yeah, that's you, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's you, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's you, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's you, I'm telling you.
What's next for Son of Andre? So you released 5 or 6 things. You're going to release 10 next year? You're going to keep upping yourself?
God, I probably not. No, no, because I'm actually kind of taking a break right now. I honestly I don't have an agenda for it. It's just whenever I feel like I want to make something, I just do it, and then when I don't feel like it, I don't. Not right now. I haven't. I'm just kind of letting Peter. I mean, honestly, I've been pulling back a little bit generally from the social media stuff. It's not to say I won't ramp it up again.
Yeah.
But at least right now I haven't been posting as much. And so yeah, what's next for me? I don't know, man.
Well, because you do those covers, which are cool. What the other thing that I like is, so everybody should go check out Son of Anders TikTok.
Wow.
But you do. No, but you do these cool covers that all have like your stamp on them, which is actually what I really like. I covers that are just
watermark. No, yeah.
No, I mean your sound.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay. They also have that.
Yeah, the TikTok watermark, right. You're like, what is that? Oh, that's just TikTok.
How does he put that on his videos? Imagine if you were like,
dude, he's got these covers with the lasers and like
TikTok has endorsed all of these. That's really what they're saying, isn't it, TikTok? That you endorse all my videos.
Yeah.
You want to send me a big check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, there's tons of cool covers on there, so go check them out. I like them.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
that. Your Pink Floyd ones are sweet. I like the one with Time recently you just put up.
Thank you.
I don't even know if they're recent. I feel like sometimes I see them like 3 months after you put them up.
No, that's a recent one. Yeah, no, the Pink Floyd ones do well. People like those, and like Led Zeppelin and Nirvana. It's like I feel like I can do one from any of those bands.
Load up on guns.
I don't know if I've done that, actually. I actually haven't done that one.
Oh, nice. Well, because
there's
there's that like annoying cover of it that goes around TikTok. That guy with that kind of like deep voice, load up on guns and bring your friends.
I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah, anyway. And then it goes into like a hip hop thing.
Jingle, jingle. It
yeah, right.
I've heard that. My money is, it goes boop, 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 boop. Because it's bits, okay?
Nice.
So how about that? Because it's Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah. So get some, Mr. Moore.
I have Bitcoin. You think I don't have Bitcoin?
I mean, don't. By the way, this is not financial advice. You get some or don't.
Well, you're talking to me. You're not talking about them.
I'm talking to nobody.
Right. To nobody. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. How did we get on that? Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. So you go check out his TikTok. And what do we got? We got Peter's show. We got Priestly Folk. Me and you with a sick.
Beat or Not. Yeah, we didn't talk about Beat or Not. Beat or Not also is maybe. So Beat or Not is
actually that's my favorite cover.
Thank you. Cover.
That's just a drawing. The image.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That was that thing. Do you remember that math thing I talked to you about like 2 years ago?
Oh, it was like one night. And you're like, "Can I run this idea by you?"
Yeah. That was from that whole.
Oh, cool.
Actually, and then I just sort of messed with it. That's funny. Yeah, no, my dad liked it a lot too. He was surprised. He was like, "Who did that?" I was like, "I did." He was surprised. He was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, well, okay, thanks." yeah. But honestly, I'm pretty graphically terrible. But yeah, thank you.
Too.
And that song, that's actually the song that I'll end most of like my lives with.
Oh, cool.
Beat or Not. That seems to be that, and Me and You. And Insomniac Fiend are probably the 3 favorites of people that when I will just play. Anyway, but yeah. So we didn't talk about Beat or Not. We have so much to talk about, Anthony.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go for it, talk about it.
No, I mean that's about just existential dread. That's all. That's
good. That's all. That's it. I feel like that's the theme for this episode. You say something big and then just jump
it's
right
just
on. It's
about like the meaningless of life and,
Nice.
No, or I don't know. And then it's also about probability stuff. Conditioning my probability.
Yeah.
So how about that? It's very fun.
Very fun. Yeah. Does that have a video? Because you were putting out a couple videos too. Because you had one with the pyramid with the lyrics and everything.
Oh, yeah. But those are always just lyric videos. They're not like actual videos.
I see.
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't. I would love to, but it's kind of really time is the big limiting factor.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah, and it's I don't have time to do. I mean, I make money doing other stuff.
Right.
And why'd you just wink at me?
I did I?
No, you didn't.
Oh. You were hoping I would so that the bit would work. I should have gone with it. I should have yes-anded
you. But anyway, yeah. So everything that I'm doing, I don't know. It just is for what it is.
Nice, dude. You made me feel crazy. I was like, did I wink?
No, you.
I was like, what?
But yeah, no. Yeah. So I don't know. What's next for you? What are you doing?
What am I doing? I have a single coming out on Halloween on the 31st. New music video coming out. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just shows.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me about that one. Are you?
Yeah.
You want to give the people a taste? I guess you probably already have.
Well, they're gonna get a taste on my other podcast. Also, they can look me up. I'm gonna make them do work. I'm pro making your audience do work to find you. I think it helps.
Oh.
I think don't spoon feed them too much.
Oh. Invest their time.
Exactly. It's the same as why I get into this conversation with other bands around Austin, where if it's a ticketed event and you can charge 5 or 10 or 15 or do a free show, I think 5 or a free show are mistakes. I mean, I think a free show is better than 5. 5 is the worst thing you could possibly charge, because it says to the audience that you don't value yourself and you don't think your music's worth anything. When you're just like, 5. If somebody's going to pay $10 or $15, they're going to stay for a while, and they're paying to have a good time. And then the opposite side is then it's just on you to put on a good show. But you should be doing that anyway. So,
no, it's an interesting point. I wonder if anybody's ever thought to do an experiment about it, because I could see that, yeah, because you're getting at the whole idea that you're going to value it more if you're paying more and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and I mean, in that sense, yeah, because it's funny, because getting back to like your thing, we should have 20,000 people give you $1.
Right.
There are people that have told me I should put on like my Cash App and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just never do, because there's part of me that is thinking, like, I would rather people just listen, but is that devaluing? Or like on Bandcamp, you have the ability for people to not pay anything. So I am always devaluing my music, but part of it's because it's just, it's
right.
I would just rather people listen to it. But I have the luxury, in a sense, of looking at it from this perspective, because again, it's like, I'm not doing it to make money.
Right. I hope that statement, everybody who's listening, is like, we're going to give this guy money. You just get inundated with Cash App requests.
And hey, Anthony, by the way, that's why I said it, just between me and you. Okay?
Yeah, should I wink there?
You should wink.
Maybe you should wink.
We should both wink.
Oh, nice.
Anyways.
It's like a super wink, a super blink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Have I ranted enough?
Yeah.
Talked about all?
Yeah, is there anything else you want to hit?
I don't know. Yeah, we didn't talk about the war.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the war?
No, we probably shouldn't. We should probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. No. Insomniac in Philosopher Queen was Insomniac Fiend people seem to like, which is off of Philosopher Queen. And that's also about it. So what I've noticed too is existential stuff people seem to like.
Probably because of things like the war.
What's that?
Probably because of things like the war. Everybody's feeling shitty about stuff. Yeah.
Well, and it's also, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this, but the whole idea of, I guess another thing that I've been doing, right, is I have it's not a regular podcast, but I have like, I'll put up long-form videos. I've just done maybe 6 or 7 now, talking about consciousness and neuroanatomy. And I think we've also talked about this idea, but I think people are also just interested in it because of this, the Great Awakening, right?
Right.
Just social media, everybody's a little bit more conscious and aware and stuff like that.
Right.
For a variety of reasons. And so, which I think it makes sense then that people are going to be interested in existentialism. Because
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Now we've derailed, Anthony.
Have we? I don't think that's derailing. Oh yeah. Now that we're talking about your music, we've derailed the whole conversation.
Yeah. No, yeah. So that's all I wanted to say about.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Peter's show, the most recent one, is also supposed to be about supposed to be kind of spooky. So.
Oh, a good time of year for it. Spooky.
Exactly. So yeah, that's interesting. So is there a reason you chose October? Or Halloween
because my song. Well, the music video is like scary. I think I was telling you a little bit about it. It's like
a neon.
Yeah, I have glow paint on my face, and I'm making like crazy twitchy faces and disgusting faces. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm excited.
Yeah. When I was recording it with Nate, the bass player, he was like, unsettled. He wanted to leave the room. He said it was too scary. But then he did like blood coming out of his mouth, which almost made me throw up. Wow. Dude, I hate fake blood. It's so nasty.
Really?
Yeah. Even seeing it grosses me out.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really dealt with it.
Yeah. Well, it's gross.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, so where do people find you?
Oh, geez. Son of Anders. Everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere.
But it's always Son of Anders with underscore between them.
Yeah.
But I think if you just type,
I think if you search it, I've had luck just searching it.
I haven't been shadow banned. That's good.
That's good. I guess you wouldn't know, would you? Like, you could be way more famous than you are, and you just shadow banned.
Yeah, no, certainly. But I think in like if you try to search, you have to like search the whole name. You know, like you're not gonna.
Is that a sign of shadow banning?
That would be a sign.
I see. We should do another podcast on how to know if you're shadow banned.
Yeah, or just unpopular. You're right. One of the two. I'm shadow banned. No, you just suck. It's like, okay. I keep telling myself I'm shadow banned.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, Son of Anders everywhere. And
cool.
Thanks, Antushka.
All right. Cool. Well, goodbye, everybody. Look up Son of Anders. All right, thanks for listening or watching. Be sure to look up Son of Anders and listen to all the music that he has put out in this last year. Also, leave a comment, subscribe, like my channels, do all that stuff, and I will see you next time.